Hey YouTube, Campervan Kevin here. Well, today I'm in Quartzsite, Arizona. What am I doing here? I'm spending some time with my friends, looking around, enjoying the desert, and making new friends. Behind me is the travel trailer that I showed you the other day that when we drove by, I said, boy, I sure would like to see the inside of that. But I never could catch the guy outside, and I don't want to go knock on his door and bother him. But turns out he saw the video, sent me a message and said, hey, you can come take a look at it. So I want to introduce you to someone, Richard, that owns this travel trailer. All right. Well, we're lucky enough to meet Richard here. Richard, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
He's agreed to show us his little tiny house that he built all by himself. Richard is not a stranger to the tiny house community, but maybe you could tell us, you got a sign going on here that tells us a good bit about it. Can you maybe walk us through a little bit of your...
So this is it's a 54 square foot micro home. It was built on a old boat trailer that I picked up, and then ended up basically rebuilding the trailer, reinforcing it, and it's all a welded steel frame. The house is 54 square feet, has an indoor bed, an indoor bathroom, and then an outdoor kitchen and shower. And it's been home for me for a little over a year now, and it's gone about 14,000 miles in the last year.
Wow. I'll tell you what, Richard, we're picking up a little bit of wind here today, so let's walk around the outside right quick, and then we'll go inside and we'll talk some more. One of the first things that really kind of got my attention was this metal siding down here. It's not, at first I thought it came off like a U-Haul box truck.
So I found that. I thought it was originally roofing metal, and I got it stupid cheap off Craigslist, and then found out it was bridge building material. But it works. It's super heavy duty, and kind of I like mixing materials, and I like utility kind of stuff that's a little rusty, a little junky, but kind of in a cool way.
Yep. This is Cedar.
Yes, Cedar fence pickets. So all of those are mitered, so that way the water kind of sheds off of them. There's furring strips behind it, so that way you don't get water behind the, or water will drain behind the edges.
How many watts of solar do you have on here?
250 watts of solar, and then two 35 amp hour batteries. So the whole house runs off of 12 volt DC.
Okay.
I do have an inverter for my computer, but that's about it. And yeah, it's just wanted to keep it simple, have this completely off grid, so I just need a bit of dirt to sleep on is all I need.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have a huge need for a lot of power.
Right.
You just
it's phone, LED lights, computer, nothing big, so.
Just covering the basics. And you built all this yourself? You're not, oh, there's no wind back here. We can talk.
Yeah, so this was my second tiny house build. My first house was 250 square feet. It was a 32-foot long trailer, and I started building that in 2015. Moved into it, lived in it for about a year and a half, and then started traveling. Realized I like traveling better than living in the big tiny house. So I built this as kind of the compromise between the two.
Yeah, I think you were telling you were looking for a place to put your tiny house, and you kind of fell in love with the road.
Yeah.
And so the tiny house was a little bit too big.
Yes.
To move all the time.
Yes, it was built with the intention of moving it maybe once a year. And then whenever I lived out of a Honda Element that I converted and did the water tanks and the bed and the solar and the kitchen into an Element, and stealth camped for 6 months all over the West Coast and just fell in love with it.
You found that wanderlust, didn't you? It got you. It got you. So these are the they don't have the trim around the windows. They're frameless. Frameless. There we go.
I forget the term for the windows that open outward. So all the windows came from eBay.
Okay.
And then the skylight's a salvaged school bus window, emergency escape hatch.
That's neat. He was telling me that he's got a compost toilet, and this here is his homemade vent pipe. We'll go inside here in a minute. We're gonna walk around. Now, when I first saw this, I thought your catwalk here was your solar panel. But you have a way of getting from the inside outside.
Yes, yeah.
I saw.
Through the skylight. The skylight lifts all the way up, and then you have the rooftop deck. So
Cool.
Someone called this the Mary Poppins house because closed up it's 54 square feet, all open with the patio and the door. It's like 125 square feet.
Well, this is really nice if you're wanting to. This is your galley, of course, and if you if you're having any rain or whatever,
Yep.
you can still prepare your food.
Yeah. So if it's real bad weather, I'll throw stuff up on the countertop, the cooler, and all that, and then just kind of, not cook but prepare stuff from the inside. Out here it's nice, and we've got lights on the interior here, so it's really pretty at night. I like to cook and I like to entertain, so that was two things I couldn't compromise on here.
Neat. Cook with a Coleman gas stove. Well, it's not a Coleman. Camp Chef. Got his sink out here. You did this burn work yourself?
Yes, yeah. So I actually just finished that today. That's an old leather belt that I found, and then that's all wood stained, a bunch of different wood stains.
It's beautiful.
I love the desert, and so kind of bring that into the house design.
This is your outdoor shower and your sink faucet and a little bit of everything.
Yep. Outdoor shower, indoor toilet, and indoor little gravity fed sink.
How many gallons of water can you carry, Robert?
20 gallons. Yeah.
Well, that's enough.
Yeah, that'll last me a couple weeks, and I'll just fill up a 5-gallon thing in town, and then it's a little funnel on the outside. So
I think I'm figuring that flushing toilets and drinking water and cooking and everything, I'm down to 50 gallons.
nice.
But of course that doesn't include washing clothes and whatnot at the laundromat. But I can do 50 gallons if I'm careful. It's kind of what I'm aiming for.
But it's very nice to train against the walls.
I can see it, yeah.
So I'm like,
Alright.
Pitches right like that. So kind of playing with design and stuff, the important thing is to use as much space as you can, or design your space efficiently. So kind of having that whole back wall up. I only use 24 inches, but I have a huge kitchen.
There you go. Richard, living out here on the road, how do you support yourself? A lot of people are going to ask me.
Yeah, so I have two businesses. My primary business, I do graphic design. I help small businesses, logos, websites, all that. And then I also have Terraform Tiny Homes, which is more my passion project, which is I do tiny house design, any kind of small dwelling. So I've designed everything from Prius to Sprinter vans to buses to tiny houses on wheels.
So
I travel around and do festivals and do talks and all that kind of stuff.
if someone wanted to get in touch with you, these are the best ways to get you. This door looks custom. Did you build it?
I did. So, for me, originally whenever I was planning this, I was just going to use a teardrop door.
Sure.
And then kind of once I got the shell up, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be happy crawling in and out of a little thing. So I did this custom with my logo in the door frame with the little plexiglass behind it so it lights up cool at night. It's all what's called sosugi bond, so you actually burn the wood. It's an old Japanese technique of burning the wood to help seal it from bugs and make it fire resistant, and it makes it look really cool. So
Probably helps with the water a little bit as well. It tightens up the pores where the wood is more. The pores are more open when you heat it and burn it. They get tight.
Yep, it's really good. There's 1,000-year-old buildings in Japan that exist because of the sosugi bond wood burning.
Cool. Well, can we see the inside?
Absolutely. So basically, after living out of the Honda Element, my two big requirements, the downfall of the Honda Element was I wanted a place that I could use the restroom inside, and I wanted to be able to stand up. Everything else was good, so that was kind of the basis for this design. Was, I wanted a full-size bed just in case someone comes along with me, kind of thing, and the indoor composting toilet. I was totally okay with the outdoor shower, the outdoor kitchen, the outdoor everything, because it forces me to go to good weather, and I'm a happier person when I'm in good weather.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
So
it's about 6'6", I think, something like that.
I can just stand in here. My hat touches. I'll step in here with you.
Yeah.
The first thing that grabs my eye are the homemade countertops. So I have to ask you, were you an alcoholic in a past life?
I don't know, past life is the right word.
Currently, you're saving up to build more.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have my first house was I homebrew, and so I had a beer bottle backsplash or beer bottle cap backsplash. Luckily, I have a lot of heavy drinker friends, and they donated quite a bit of wine corks.
Oh, that's good.
And then just poured an epoxy on top of it. My favorite thing about building your own house is you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You know, I have no intention on selling this for a profit or anything. This is just my house.
You built this for you.
Yep. And so I have my little trinket wall of, all the places I've been and the people I've met, and each one of those little buttons has a story. And
didn't you tell me you've traveled abroad?
I have. I spent, this last year I was in Brazil for 2 weeks, and then I spent 3 months in France, Italy, Spain, and Portugal.
The prayer flags, is that Buddhist?
Yes, so those I actually got, I ended up at a Buddhist stupa for the solar eclipse last year, or 2017, and that was a really cool thing, so.
They say you can tell a lot about the man by the books he reads. Cool. I'm just going to kind of pan around here.
Absolutely.
And you just had the experience building the one tiny house, so.
Correct.
What did this sink come from here?
So that sink came from the Habitat Restore. It was a black sink, and then basically I ended up cutting the back off because I didn't need the faucet spot, and I saw that like bronze coppery kind of under, so I took an angle grinder to it, and I really liked the crazy patina it kind of put on it, and then just sealed it back up.
Lots of storage in here.
Yes. So full closet, more storage there, and then basically the bed all the way back is storage.
Does it hinge, or you just have to crawl under it?
You just have to crawl under it. That's all kind of the stuff that's not, accessible every day.
You got to have a fantastic fan. I just don't think this can be done without a fantastic fan. Sorry. I think I'd quit. I give up RVs. If I couldn't have a fantastic fan, I think I'm done.
Yes.
Now this window here, you said you got out of a bus.
So this, it was a bus emergency escape hatch, and then that opens all the way up. And
that's why.
And then that's the little catwalk rooftop deck, which I love. And this is my favorite part of the entire house.
I saw you sitting up there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like at night you get a stargaze, and that's my favorite thing. And yeah, it's a comfortable little space.
I'm looking for heat and air conditioning, but you just you chase 70?
Yes.
You chase 70 degrees?
No air conditioning, but the way it's built is I used what's called sunboard for the roof sheathing, and then that galvanized metal. So, I mean, if it's hot outside, it's 15 degrees cooler in here just from that. For heating, I have an electric heating blanket, and then I do have a little buddy heater.
Oh, okay. Like a little curtain right here.
A little privacy if you have two people and someone's pooping right next to you.
Yep. That's all you need is like a foot thick curtains. All you need.
Exactly.
Curtain's fine as long as it's about a foot thick. Yeah, I think that's probably how I would lose. That's how I'd probably lose my company and my friends if I had a little thin curtain like that. Say, well, okay, we're done.
I've traveled mostly solo in this, but
sure. Life happens.
Yeah, exactly. So most of the time, it's like you got to get out of the house.
Yeah, give me
about 9 minutes.
Give me a minute.
So, and this is kind of where all I've traveled.
You're from Texas?
I'm from Texas originally.
Where are you from?
Dallas, Fort Worth. I grew up there, went to school there, and then finally escaped last year.
I'm right here from Athens,
Okay.
Athens, Georgia. I've lived in Nashville, and I lived down at Lake Jackson here, south of Houston.
Nice.
Yep, right on Galveston. But yep, been around.
I've covered a little bit of ground.
How many miles do you think you have on your little camper?
This house has about 14,000 miles on it.
No kidding. You're moving.
Yeah, in the last year, going back and forth from Texas to California, but a lot of this and that whole loop was this house, My original it was a 4-month trip, was that in the element, and kind of that was supposed to be a 2-month trip that turned into a 4-month trip that could have easily turned into a 6-month trip.
I understand. Well, I tell you what, I think you've done an excellent job.
Thank you.
Anybody can go out and buy one already made.
It's just not the same.
But to create your own.
Yeah, and what I love about the tiny house movement specifically, whether they're cars or vans or buses or anything, is it's you. It's not a manufactured thing that, you know, looks like everyone else's. This house was built for me specifically.
Well, now that you've been in it, what did you do right? What did you do wrong? And what would you do different?
So I would say I hit this one about 90% right.
Okay.
The things that I want to change or wish I would change, I miscalculated whenever I was doing my trailer, and I didn't think about interior paneling. So I'm 6'2", and interior width is about 6'1". So I have a little bit of a curl in bed, or like whenever I'm sleeping. So I'm working on plans for a 2.0 version of this house that's a little bit wider. Additionally, I didn't think I would be off-road as much as I am. And so I really want to get some beefy off-road tires and
suspension.
Suspension.
People just don't realize how rough it can get out west. I thought I had the perfect rig with my BT Cruiser, and then people said, well, why'd you sell it? Why'd you sell it? I said, because I was slowly beating it to death, and it was just too nice to do that. It wasn't what I needed.
Yeah.
So I had to tune and start over.
Yep. I mean, even here at the RTR, going through some of the washes, the back wall caught in one of the washes and ripped off my mounts. So I was going down the road and my door kind of opened like that.
So that's not that. I didn't leave it like that.
Yeah, no.
This country's rough.
Yeah.
But the free stuff anay. But
yeah.
I guess you could go on any campground, but that's no fun.
I hate going to campgrounds or paid campgrounds because
you feel like a sardine.
Yeah, you feel you're cramped, and like the place I've been to some amazing free campgrounds, and I stayed outside of the Hoh Rainforest for like 5 days, had 5 campgrounds to myself, and a beautiful river going through for free. A mile into the park, it's $40 a night, and there's RVs stacked that close to each other. It was just,
I don't get it.
I do the free campgrounds.
So the trailer was too small a little bit, and you probably wish you'd have went with a newer, bigger trailer.
A little bit, not much. You know, I wanted to keep it. You can go 8.6 wide and be road legal. I wanted to keep it within 7 feet or so, just because it's easier to pivot and turn and all that kind of stuff. But again, now that it's built, I'm happy with it. I'm not building a new one to gain an inch kind of thing.
Well, we all learn from experience.
Yes. A mentor of mine when I was building my first house told me you're not going to have a perfect house until your 3rd build. So I got one more to do before
you get there. Well, you're still a young kid. Well, I can't thank you enough for showing us your house.
Absolutely.
Very, very impressive. Thank you so much. All right, that was lots of fun. We sure were lucky that Richard took the time to show us his little tiny house on wheels. But I'm going to have to end this little video somewhere, so I'm going to end it right here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Hey, we'll see you again soon. You guys take care. Bye-bye.